You are welcome to another episode of the Journey series with Truthfully Evolving. And today I will be talking about the baker and the cake. But let me give you the story behind this message that I received. There was a certain man that went to the market. He got to the market and he saw a cake, a beautiful cake that was sampled. And he thought to himself, I like that cake. I want that cake. And I will get that cake. And when he went inside the store, they told him the price of the cake. He said, no, it's way too expensive. It's way too pricey. And the lady in the store told the same man, you can also bake this cake yourself. You can also do that. But the man did not believe, because how is it possible that he can bake such an amazing cake as what he's seen? But the woman kept convincing him and was telling him, don't worry, you can bake that same cake. So he got home and he realized that he had all the equipment, the tools to bake the cake. He had the pan, he had the beater, he had literally everything that was needed to bake the cake. But instead of him to take that and learn how to bake the cake, what he did was he took the cake, the equipment, he took the equipment, the tools for the cake, and he took it back to the market. I hope this story is making sense. And he took the equipment, the tools that is well needed, that can help him bake the cake. He took that equipment, everything, and he took it to the market. That is the parable. That is the story of the baker and the cake. So for one, he did not bake the cake. He saw the cake that he liked. He had the tools to bake the cake, but he did not learn how to bake the cake. Rather, he took the tools that he had with him in his own home, he took it outside back to the same market. Many of you want to eat the cake, but you don't want to bake the cake. I'll repeat that again. Many of you want to eat the cake, but you don't want to bake the cake. And let me break it down so that you understand better. The market is the world. The marketplace is where you buy and you sell. That's the description of the world. The tools, the equipment, the frying pan, the floor, everything that this man had refers to the gifts, the talents, the skills. He has everything within him to bake that cake. But he was not convinced enough that he's well enough, is well built, that he had it in him to produce or to bake that cake. Even after the lady told him, look, you can also bake this same cake. But he was not convinced. And then the cake that he saw was the reward. And let me also take it back a bit so that you understand where this is heading to. Many of you see something, you see someone living in their reward. Many of you see someone that has done the work, that took their time, their effort, everything within them. They used all of that to bake their life. They used what they had, the tools that they had within them, to bake the cake. Many of you see people that are already, doing so well for themselves, well packaged, enjoying the fruits, reaping the benefits of their hard work. And you say to yourself, you're seeing someone that has labored for years, 5 years, 10 years to get to where they are, and you just want to get to where they are in just 2 days. How is that possible? Please make it make sense to me. You see someone that is already doing so well and you're like, I want to live like this person, but you're not ready to bake. You're not ready to put in the work. You're not ready to take time to nurture yourself, to learn, to master your craft. But you want to get the same result that this person got. And it doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that way. You have to bake the cake. And for you to bake the cake, it's one thing to bake the cake, and it's another thing for the cake to be beautiful and to be seen by people. So anything that you want to get, you have to first be ready and be willing to put in the work. If you're not ready to put in the work, don't look at the next person and say, I want to have. If you say you want to have this, I hope you can put in the work. That's what this message is headed to. Are you the baker? Are you the woman that baked the cake? That had the tools and used the tools to bake the cake? And when she presented it to the world, to the market, it was beautiful. Or are you the man that has the tools to bake the cake, but instead left the tools, took the tools and neglected it, got carried away in the world? So it is really, really important to know where you belong. It is really, really, really important to know where you stand. Greatness is not built in one day. Victory is not built in one day. Rome is not built in one day. If you see something that you like and you want to have it, you have to be willing to work. You have to be willing to put in the work. But many of you just want to enjoy the reward, but you don't want to put in the work. You're not ready to invest in walking on that lonely path. You're not ready to invest in walking alone, working on yourself, building alone. You're not ready to invest in that. You want the easy route. You want things to be given to you easily. I want this, I will get it. It doesn't work that way. What makes somebody extraordinary is because they had to go the extra mile. And if you're not ready to go extra mile, then you're not ready to receive the reward. So if you want to eat the cake, you have to bake the cake. But many of you are not willing to do that. So you need to make a decision. Make a choice. Where do you belong? Where do you belong? And I hope that this message will, awaken you, and also to tell you this, that every great man, every great woman that you see today, they started from somewhere. They did not just fly from the sky. They had to put in the work. Patience. Are you patient? Can you wait? Do you have that resilient spirit where even though you fall, you keep standing up? Or are you weak where if something should happen to you, you give up? Because if you have that kind of spirit, then you're not ready to eat the cake. To eat the cake, you have to first have faith. Be patient. Keep thriving. Keep working. Believing that what you have within you, the tools that you have, using what you have, you can also get what you want. And that phrase is not to say go and give yourself a body. No, that's not the phrase I'm referring to. I'm referring to when you have something within you, your talent, skills, whatever it is that you have, make sure you can reproduce that, so that at the end of the day, whatever when you're done producing it, when you bring it out to the world, it will be a rare piece. It will be special, just as the man saw the cake and said to himself, it's too special, it's rare. And the lady told him, it's expensive. It's not for everyone. It's not for everyone. There are people that put in the work. that did the work, that reinvented themselves, that changed themselves, that transformed. They made a decision to be where they are today. And if you are amongst that group, you need to understand also that you are rare, you're an expensive item, you're pricey. You can't be for everybody. You can only be with people that has done the work. So let me encourage those of you that are in the journey. Okay, we are all in the journey together. But let me encourage you as well and tell you this: patience, faith, hope, trust, belief. These are seeds that you have to be willing to plant. These are seeds that you have to be willing to plant, not just plant it and leave it there. No, you have to be willing to keep pouring into it, nurture it, protect it, save it, make sure it is well nourished, because that seed will someday turn into um, a plant. From a plant, it turns into a tree that produces good fruit. For you to eat your cake, you have to bake it. No one has to bake it for you, because everything that you need to succeed is within you. No one will come in and say, let me help you, and so they can only put you through, but you have to make the decision at the end of the day. Do I want to succeed? Do I want to grow? So the seeds that you plant in the beginning season is way important. Let's take it back to the process of baking a cake. You have to get the right equipment. For that's first. You have to and then you talk about mixing the flour and all of that process, and you don't rush the process. There is a certain process that you have to go through to get the cake baked. So if you jump the process, you will not get the result. And many of you just want to jump the process and you want to end up getting the result. It doesn't work that way. You can't jump the process. The only way to get to that place, the only way to receive your cake is to follow the due process. Keep pouring into whatever you're building. Keep nurturing it. Keep protecting it. It doesn't matter how long you have to. The journey will certainly take a lot from you, and I've said that before. The journey will not always be smooth. It will be rough, because especially if you're baking for the first time, you will make lots of mistakes, but you keep perfecting it, you keep doing it, you will get it right. So why not spend so much time investing on yourself, building yourself, growing, becoming a better version of yourself, rather than trying to look for a short route to take because you see every other person doing it. Everybody's playing football here. It's a football game. We are all in a field. People are playing football. I pass it to you, you pass it to me, you take it there, I take it there. It's a game of life. But you have to make a decision. So, for those of you that are on the journey, do not be discouraged, because certainly you will see people that are doing way better than you. And that is not a sign for you to be discouraged and say, oh, I'm not there yet, I'm not. It's a sign for you to keep working on yourself and believing that you will get there. Your job, your number one job, is to keep baking until you get the right ingredients to make your cake special, until you get the right design to beautify your cake. And until then, it will be eligible to be seen by the world. But before you get there, before your cake gets seen by people, keep baking. Just keep baking. Don't stop baking. Even when you get the cake, continue baking until you get something much more better than what you've already had. So just keep doing what you're doing. Do the best that you can. Don't use time as a measurement to measure, or your age to measure up success, because the definition of success in this world is money, house, cars. That's not what success means. The When you have built yourself, reinvented yourself, you look at yourself and you say, I have really changed. Not even you saying to yourself, people see that change in you. That's success. Do you know what it means? There are billions of people that are still struggling to find themselves. And if you get to that point where you recognize and you say, I know my purpose, I know what I'm here to do, you are successful. Do not let anybody deceive you and tell you success means money, car. No, that is bonus. That is the icing on the cake. So be proud of yourself in every step that you take. Don't let anybody discourage you, because when you're built, now that you're baking, people will come in and tell you, oh, this cake, are you sure you can get it right? Are you sure you should not just leave this cake? There'll be many voices speaking to you, telling you, leave the cake half done. When you focus on baking, you get your desired cake, even sometimes way much more than you expected. So it is really, really important. The people that will come in and tell you, why not just leave this cake and buy it? They can't do the work. They are not ready to put in the work. So they're looking for people that will also be lazy as them, that will just give up as them. But you owe it to yourself at the end of the day. Do it for yourself. Do it for your generations. Do it for your family. Do it for your children. Do it for your wife. Do it for your husband. You owe it to yourself to do it. It has to be you and no one else. So let me quickly add this before I wrap this message up. Know this: the baking process is the learning process, is the healing process, is the growing process, it's the preparation process. Okay? And when you're done baking the cake, you put it in the pan or whatnot and you put it in the oven. When you put it in the oven, you turn on the fire. The fire heats the cake and you bring it out, and voila, it's a cake. What that means is the moment you put the whole baking process in the oven and the fire refers to the trials, the test, the tribulation. And when the cake comes out of the oven, you can tell if it's well baked or not. So when you are being put in that oven, which is the trial, the test, the tribulations, all of that, and you come out of that and you're well baked, that's what makes you a cake. That's what makes you a cake. And that's what makes you different. Because you went through the fire, you went through the baking process, and now you are now a cake that people look at and can, eat from it, which is your good work. People can now be around you. People can now learn from you. People can now eat you, not physically, but like mentally. You have something. So when they ask you, you being the baker, they ask you, what did you put in here? You can tell people, oh, I added this to get to this. But if you did not bake the cake, how can you tell somebody this is what you added to the cake? So the preparation process is necessary. The baking process is necessary for you to, get to this cake level. So, and I hope this makes sense to someone. Okay, so this is just me encouraging you and telling you that you are not late. Your arrival is different from the next man. So keep baking until you are satisfied with your cake. Till next time, divine blessings.